Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back into mattsteinway.com. Today I've got a little story for you, and it's about listening to the opinions of others, or maybe not listening to the opinions of others. So when I first got into real estate, I started in a place called Killarney Vale, which is like 20 minutes from here, say, inland a little bit. And the Killarney Vale is like quite a small place. It's just like a strip of shops. And started in one place, then after a while moved across the road, worked in another place, and then after a little while again, maybe a year or so, or a year and a half, I moved to another place that was closer to Terrigal, but not right in here. It was just out a little bit. Then one day someone close to me said, you know, if you want to get great at real estate, or you want to work with people that are, you know, I don't know, the guns of the area, I guess you'd say, Terrigal is where you should look at. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I didn't know much about Terrigal then. I just sort of worked. I didn't sort of hang around here or do anything like that. So I came down, had a look around, lots of real estate offices, all seemed a bit intimidating. I was like, whoa, you know, I wasn't really that experienced at real estate. I'd only pretty much prospected the whole time I'd been in it up until that point, sort of, you know, showed some buyers around and didn't really have a great understanding of it or much experience in general. So I thought I'd give it a go, and then I applied for a job down here, or I just sort of rang some of the agencies that were here, and or maybe dropped something in, I can't remember exactly, but one of them gave me a call and I was like, great, fantastic. Bit nervous though. So I went down, they said come in for an interview, went down, smallish office, national brand, and I was like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to work for this brand, you know, everyone knows them. I'd never worked for a franchise that was like Australia-wide before. I'd only worked for little sort of independent offices, so it was all a bit, well, this is pretty important. This is cool. So I went down, sat there, chatted to him, all went pretty good, and then like working days or something came up, and I said to him, look, I just can't work Sundays. I can work 6 days a week, as much as you want. I'll work as hard as I can, but Sundays I just can't. That was it. He just sat there and said, oh, no. You know, you'd have to work Sundays. I said, look, I really can't. I've got other commitments on Sundays and I just have to honour them. He basically just sat there and said, oh, well, sorry. He said, unless you work, I remember it so clearly, he sat there and said, look, I'm going to give you a tip. Unless you work Sundays, you will just not make it in this business. I was like, whoa. I was a bit devastated, really. I was like, really? Gee, well, is that how it happens around in these bigger areas, you know? I was like, wow, okay, thanks. And that was it, left. And I just went home, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, well, gee, can't really work Sundays, so I don't know if I'll make it in this business then. Now, back then, you know, 14 years ago or 13 years ago or something, the internet wasn't like it was, you know, the traffic wasn't like it was, the weekends, the agents around here really used to rely on the weekend traffic and all that sort of stuff, so I understand what he was saying. And I didn't really know what to do from there, but I wanted to work in Terrigal, or at least give it a go, so I applied at another place or a couple of other places, and someone else, another national franchise brand, gave me a call, and someone else close to me said, look, when you go there, you know, don't let that other bloke sway you. When you go to this one, just help them understand how much you will do, like how much you'll work. You'll be the best you can physically be. So anyway, I thought I'd share a bit more of my passion with him about, you know, what I wanted to create for myself. And you've got to remember, back then when I was going for this interview, I didn't have any real like experience to share with him, or I didn't have any real track record. I didn't really have anything. But I sat there in front of this guy because I I did want the job, or at least the opportunities for him to listen. And I was starting to do okay where I was as well, so I was like, oh, I could easily just stay there, but I knew this would help my career a little bit more. Anyway, I sat in front of him and I said, look, I will be, I think I said mark my words or something like that, but I will be the most successful real estate agent in this country. He was just like, what? I will be the most successful real estate agent in this country. I will work 6 days a week. I will work harder than anyone you've ever met or anyone else that works in this business if you just give me a go. But I just can't work Sundays. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, what do you mean you can't work Sundays? I said, look, I've got other commitments that I just have to honor, and on Sundays I just can't work on them. You know, I have to do this other thing that I'm committed to here, and it's just the way, you know, my life goes. You know, so he's like, wow, well, I don't know. I said, look, just give me a go, or, you know, if you do want to think about it, I will be the best worker you've ever seen 6 days a week. I will work as much as I can, as much as I need to, whatever I have to do. If you want to just explore that and give me a run, you'll see that I will be amazing. I will be the hardest worker you've ever seen. Anyway, he sort of listened. Later on, I don't know, down the track, couple of days, few days, he rang me and offered me a job. And I was like, well, that's fantastic. So, and then I didn't know if I wanted to go, because I was, like I said, doing okay at this other place, and I liked the other place. But, you know, the guy who suggested it originally to go to Terrigal, we had a chat. He said, well, you know, it's a good opportunity, it's a good agency. They're you know, got a good profile. They seem like they're doing good things. Maybe it might be something for you to explore. And I did. And I made it work. You know, I made it work without Sundays. I've never worked Sundays. It's been pretty much through my whole career. I might have done an appointment or two on a Sunday if I've had to along the way, but not many. Like 98 or 99% of them I've never worked Sunday. It's just the way I've structured my life, and everything's worked around that, because that's the commitment that I've made to do that to myself and to other things as well. But I think sometimes when you stick to the commitments that you've made, and you're committed to a path and giving it 150% when you're doing what you're doing, so work, and then whatever else you're committed to as well when you're there, be just as committed to that, but blend it in really nicely, instead of, you know, sort of not really being committed to too much and being half about everything. So that's the way I ran my career, and it worked. You know, it's worked so far, and I'll just keep doing my best to make it work the best I can. But don't listen to the opinions of others. If you feel in your heart it's the right thing to do. That's the essence of this video. So I thought I'd share that little story with you. And you know, sometimes listen to the opinions of others as well, but it's got to feel right in here. And if it feels right in here, it usually is right. If it doesn't feel right in here and you're feeling something different in here, go with that, because it will lead you right. And if it doesn't, there'll be another opportunity waiting just around there somewhere that you were meant to find. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked the little story. Question of the day today. Question of the day. I should really prepare these before I do them. Question of the day. What's been your favourite video so far on the website? Alright everyone, look forward to seeing you on the next video.